Today on the world's #1 movie and marijuana show, we have a new hope for a new year, and we're talking about Star Wars.
Let's get it!
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to the Saturday Doobie Feature. I don't know if you guys heard the #1 movie and marijuana show in the world. I'm Justin.
I am Byron.
Today we are co-hosted with a giant bowl of Pringles. Derrick couldn't be here, but if you follow him at the Derrick Scott, you can see all of his adventures. He's always posting some fine cannabis. It's actually really amazing. He gets it. You know,
he gets it. He's your guy. You need some turtle pico.
You know, there's dudes.
You could also check them out as well.
There's dudes out there getting that bread. There's ducks out there getting that bread.
And then there's Derrick.
And there's Derrick, and he's out there getting that bread.
He's getting that bread.
Yeah.
He's not getting this bread. He's getting this yeet. Or
yeet?
There's this funny ass thing I saw the other day. He's like yeet for the fleet or something like. I don't know.
Yeet for the fleet? That sounds like a Navy thing.
It's like one of those jokes where it's just like, it's those conscious jokes, you know, where just like the more civilized you sound, the more like you're conscious of
You're explaining a meme right now on camera.
Yes.
Today we're talking about, it's New Year, it's 2019. Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully this year
welcome back, everybody.
will be
seriously welcome back.
A little bit less of a shit show. I don't know. Was your year a shit show last year after all the Tide Pods you had? What else happened last year? I don't remember.
Stuff that I want to forget.
Too much happened last year.
Stuff that I want to forget.
We have a new hope for this year, and that's why today we're watching Star Wars: A New Hope, which is episode 4.
A new year.
You guys are familiar with the nomenclature.
Classic number 4 in the series, but also number 1.
Yeah, in our hearts.
And in the world.
Possibly. Thank you to the Fave for supplying. We just started out with this nice pre-roll. We had to jump right into it today. Yeah. Some white zombie rolled up in here. What else are you going to get in? What do you want to hit first?
I don't know.
That white zombie is a nice hybrid. You know, we want to be lively. We want to have some head high. We want to have some body high. When we're getting into some classic territory, like this Star Wars. When did you watch it like as a kid? Like, did your parents like put this on for you like as a baby? Like, when did you get into it?
I got into it. Damn. With my cousin.
Okay.
My older cousin is really the one that got me into it. My parents never really talked to me about it, even though my dad went to go see it in the theaters when it came out and didn't mention this. Like,
didn't even call. Went out for cigarettes, never came back.
I was like, the fuck, bro. Okay, I don't know about that.
No, sorry. Shout out, Dad. Sorry. Shout out to Dad. Speaking of dads in this, you got the classic. What are you handing me up? Is this a Power Stone?
Yeah, realign your.
Is this from Sega Dreamcast Power Stone? What is this?
Into it and realign your chakra, bros.
Wow, he's telling me I have to realign my chakras. Shout out Chakrubs, if you're familiar. So,
New Hope. When did you see this?
You know, it was interesting. They did like the re-releases, I think in like 97, 96-ish. So I had seen, I had a familiarity with them before that, but it was such like a big, huge hype thing. Like I got the opportunity to see these movies again when they were re-released in the theaters. I never had like that, like, oh, they changed the effects. I'm really upset about it, whatever. Like I never knew that Jabba the Hutt was a big burly man that like looked like Oliver Platt and Genghis Khan. Like I never knew that. Oh, hold on, I gotta hit what am I gonna hit?
All of them, man.
When Derrick's not here, I have to do so much more smoking. What the fuck?
We gotta smoke for him, because we miss him, man.
So, George Lucas was coming off of American Graffiti. He was coming off of THX 1138. What is that? Basically...
on that one.
Harsh.
He's coming off some hits, basically.
Well,
let's put it simple.
And he wanted to make, like, the Flash Gordon series. He wanted to kind of like do like a movie version of that, like these serialized comics at the time. He couldn't get the rights to that. He's like, screw it, I'll make up my own. And look what happened, guys.
The greatest goddamn thing on earth happened.
Well, we have to get into that in the next couple weeks. So yeah, just to go over that.
This is gonna be a very
we will be going over, I think we're gonna do the original trilogy over the next couple weeks.
I think we are.
Possibly some prequel stuff. I don't know. Maybe he might call out sick for that one.
Yeah, I might call us.
And talking about the new trilogy too. Even talking about the spin-offs. Talk about Rogue One, which it's easy to talk about Rogue One when you're talking about A New Hope because they were cleverly tying up plot holes. My question: so you're watching A New Hope. and you're thinking like this was really the start of a franchise,
Start of something
the likes of which we had never really seen before. You know, you had like James Bond and stuff, but that's
But
more
it's
of like
like
a series.
This is like it was like James Bond, sci-fi, and space.
but
like
fantasy.
it was fantasy. It
That's a
had
big
everything.
thing that like George Lucas had a really hard time like kind of conveying to people. It's not like it wasn't a futuristic sci-fi that everyone kind of thought when he was pitching it.
No.
Like tons of people turned it down. Disney turned it down back in the day,
dumbass.
and then ended up paying, you know, a premium for that. But he had to kind of explain to him, this is like a fairy tale. This is a fantasy more than it's, you know, like Soylent Green or something.
It's like you're creating your own universe. Like that's what it is. It's like,
Which is what makes
I
the
get
movie,
worked up talking about this.
Which is
stuff,
what makes
man.
the movie so successful, because it truly takes you on an adventure. It builds the world slowly, but as it builds the world, it takes you along for the ride at every step. You never feel like you're left out about it. I hope nobody got murdered outside. This is North Hollywood. You got to be careful, guys.
real, big real out here.
Big real. Sorry, I'm getting into this dab right here. We have some Raw Garden sweet and sour. We also put some of the Raw Garden cherry wine CBD in here too. So this is. Have you ever smelled something like that, Johnny?
I mean, it smells sweet. And it smells sour.
What?
I guess you could call it sweet and sour.
Okay.
Sauce.
Kind of sweet and sour. Kind of like, I'm trying to draw a parallel. Kind of
Okay.
like Princess Leia. Sweet and sour. Sassy, but not. You know, movie kind of starts off with Princess Leia.
Kind of like the originals, A New Hope, and then the remakes of them with CGI.
Oh, I thought you meant the remake of A New Hope
Sweet.
called Force Awakens.
You know, like sweet, the originals, the VHS ones, and then sour, the other ones with the, you know, CGI and all that.
Damn.
And the ones where Han doesn't shoot first. Come on, people. We really have to talk about this every time. This is not a debate.
So this is like kind of like important to you as a character. Like you don't want Han to be a person that doesn't act swiftly. That's like a deal
Han
breaker
is a
for you.
scoundrel, my guy. He shoots first.
So I wanted to talk about this actually. So speaking of Harrison Ford, many attractive women have compared me to Harrison Ford. You know, a young Harrison Ford. I'm gonna get a haircut
How many?
for next week,
How
and you'll
many?
see
What's the number looking like?
many dozens, at least dozens. Point being, I'm watching the movie. And I noticed that Harrison Ford, he has kind of like a different delivery than I do. Like I have I'm from New York, pretty speedy, rambunctious talker.
You don't have this.
But if I were to possibly slow down the speed at which I maybe speak, I could perhaps capture some of that captivating Han Solo magic. So I think from now on, starting about 1 minute ago, I'm going to slowly speak more similar to Harrison Ford in an effort to resemble him greater.
Yeah. No,
But I think I also indirectly kind of sound like Obama. No?
that ain't.
Is it not working for you? Should I go back to the fast talking?
Yeah, not
Damn
it,
it.
Chief.
I'm
got a
working
better
on this
chance like
angle,
that.
you know? I think it'd be a good Halloween costume, though.
Yeah, I can.
I could be Han Solo
Do it, my guy.
and Indiana Jones. Like, I could have the glasses and a gray jacket, but black pants.
Listen, man.
And then a vest.
We all know that Indiana Jones and Han Solo are the same guy. Just
There
different aliases.
There is one Lucas canon comic that mixes Indiana Jones and Han Solo. You've seen that, right?
Yeah, I have.
Where they basically like find the Millennium Falcon in like the Redwood Forest or something. It's crashed and Chewbacca's still living there, and Indiana Jones it's like a 10-page comic. A very cool idea that they did once. Google it.
Definitely Google it.
So it's so interesting to me, like how much of A New Hope was actually planned out versus, you know, what ended up being the Star Wars canon.
That we know.
You know?
Now, like at first, everything could have changed. Like nothing could have been what you thought. Like
Everything did change.
well, I mean, like maybe the Death Star wouldn't have been destroyed. You know, maybe it could have kept going. Maybe Obi-Wan didn't die.
Well, originally when
fight,
he was making, what was it, the Will of the Wisps or whatever? I forget exactly what he called it. Like, you know, George Lucas is brainstorming all these ideas for the Star Wars. What was the name of the character that it was like C.J. Johnson or something? And he was trained by his Jedi Master Mace Windy. You never read that? Mace Windy. But the idea being that like he came up with like all these brainstormed ideas and like thought of all these names and stuff, threw them to the wall. He used some of them, he adapted some of them, and that's kind of what's cool about Star Wars is that
it's not really like it's still original ideas just put together later on.
It's a remix, is what I was gonna say. It's like it's a remix of everything great, and that's what people always say. It's like it's Joseph Campbell's you know, story of the tragic hero, or you know, the idea being it's like a story circle. It's this classic retelling. It's like The Searchers. It's like this archetype of a hero story because he's got a mentor in ObiWan, and he's got his like rogue friend in Han Solo, and he's got his captivating love interest. But then you're like thinking like, well, if they thought about this previously, like why did they have the brother and the sister making out? Which is like referenced in Disney, not making out, you know what I mean? But it's actually referenced by Disney now. Like,
nasty, but they made out.
They have like a trading card game, and on the back, it's like, you know, whoops, you kissed your sister. Whoops. Like, is that how they're like spinning it now?
I guess, like.
Daily Buddy, use the code Doobie Feature, 20% off.
Yeah, I can't agree on that one though. But
that's what I'm saying. So things like that maybe weren't at this point decided on.
No, I feel like
this guy wasn't there yet. Yoda, the Yoda piece wasn't there yet. But Obi-Wan tells Luke, he says like, your father was my apprentice, he turned evil. That kind of stuff was already built into the story.
I guess you think that he already had 1, 2, and 3 then in mind.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think? Leave in the comments. Did George Lucas want to make sequels to this? Did they even want to do that back in the time period?
I feel like
in '77, did they even want to make sequels?
I mean, like it would have been just a nice reference to keep, but then if he just wanted to keep it a trilogy, it would have worked as well. Like they didn't have to do the prequels.
It's a conversation for another time, buddy. That's, you know, it's like that classic Patton Oswalt thing. It's like, we love the things we love because we love them. And that's what makes A New Hope really classic and great too. Everything's presented very matter-of-factly. It exists in its universe and it's not over-explained. No. And it was so cool at the time because of that. It was like, Darth Vader's a badass. He just looks evil. We don't know where he came from. We didn't see him as a crying little boy. We didn't care about anything like that. No. We didn't know why there was a fault in the Death Star plans. We would just accept these things.
Well, Family Guy explained that, but that's neither here nor there.
And Rogue One. I think Rogue One tried to explain these things too.
Yeah, that was cool. That's cool.
So, they kill off Obi-Wan. Everyone is happy at the end. They're just like awarding medals. It's interesting to see how they kind of capitalize into now going into Empire after that. Because Empire is kind of like, it's not the same way that Jedi set up. Like Jedi's like this like instant continuation, and Empire like takes place like after a little bit of like development with the classic good and evil, the rebels and the Empire. You know,
it starts off slow and then works its way up.
Which really, if you think about it too, it's so simple like that. It is, everything in the movie is predicated on good versus evil, and if you just think that like that was his main driving force writing the entire thing, it's a lot easier to see how he could come up with those concepts of just, you know, Jedis, Sith,
rebels.
It's all duality,
Empire.
folks. You know.
What would your favorite scene be from A New Hope?
I mean, probably Cantina, originally Cantina. You know, that was the first thing that you're like, this is so alien to me, you know.
Stands out the
they're
most.
going out of their way to actually make some like alien music and stuff, you know, like how's that gonna work? And then the introduction of Han and all that, obviously. Are you different in that?
What do you mean?
Do you have another favorite, like different favorite
No,
scene?
my favorite scene is Han. Just because when I first saw it, I see him, he's making a deal, he feels something's off, and then all you see is bam, he shoots first. That's it. That's all you need to know about his character. He didn't feel it, wasn't feeling correct about it. He had to move about it his own way, make a decision on the spot.
Sorry, I busted out the lightsaber.
It was great.
What is it? Laser swords? What did they call them originally?
Oh my.
So I got my laser sword here. We're going to talk about Empire Strikes Back next week. If you want to leave some opinions about Star Wars in the comments below, please
Tell us what you think.
tell us your favorite episode.
Do you have any behind the scenes stuff that you know?
Do you cosplay as a Sith? Do you cosplay as a Jedi? You know?
What do y'all do? Do you play the games? What do you think about the games? Do y'all love the Clone Wars series? Come back.
It's coming back. Disney streaming service. They're doing The Mandalorian.
Clone Wars saved.
Which is with Jon Favreau or whatever. That's going to be really cool.
It's going to be cool to see.
Stay tuned next week. Check out our other episodes. Please subscribe if you like it. If you want to find me other places, Justin_Gentile on Twitter. Just Gentile. On Instagram, it'll say it down here probably, I think.
For me, it would be Byron @_LordB. And yeah, thank you for coming back. Happy New Year's, you guys.
Happy, healthy New Year. Stay safe. Stay high. We'll see you next time.
Peace out, y'all.